Get some Keno in the background too. Show the Keno off. How's everybody doing this morning? I saw some folks jumping in the chat, so I said, you know what? Let's just get started about a minute early. Brian and Michelle are just finishing up. We got Bree S in the house. We got Vance Grady, Mary. How are you guys doing? How about those Padres last night? A lot of fun. Tatis hit 2 home runs. It was kind of exciting. Everybody hear me okay? Let me make sure my mic's working. Is everybody okay? Looking forward to them. Hey, Mima, how are you, Mima? Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to it too. You guys hear me okay? It's a little challenging. Hey, Doris, what's up, superstar? LBC. Thanks, Mima. Thank you. Melvin in the house. What's up, Melvin and Barbara? Bradley Jones, the mod father. Thank you. Ellen does this for me. We're leaving town in a couple of days. Chris Thomason, go Padres. We're leaving town in a couple of days for a long time, so I'm gonna get a cut again right before we go. And there's Mark right there. Let's add Mark right away. Da-da-da. There he is. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. We're gonna let everybody start jumping in a little bit. Look at how handsome. I brought my Aztec stuff out for you today. So, are you in your office today?
I am in my home office. I
Home
just moved
office.
from
Oh my
the
God, I
corporate
forgot.
office, so home
We're gonna we're
office.
gonna break we're gonna break everything down for you today. So, quick shout out to Paul. He's a little under the weather today, and we chatted a little bit earlier, and he's just not. So we're gonna give him a bunch of shout outs during the show today. But hope you feel better, Paul. But Mark and I are gonna take care of everything today, and we're gonna give a bunch of shout outs to Paul. So welcome in, everybody. Quick shout out to Quick Honey Slots. Had a great live this morning from the sneak. They snuck off the Las Vegas one more time.
They're at the Palms.
I know, right? Where we were hanging out at. First of
Exactly.
all, I want to ask you, how do I get that jacket that you had at the party?
I have 14 different jackets that I
Oh
wear.
my gosh.
Yeah. So for conventions and parties and stuff, yeah. So I am well dressed when I go out, usually with a bow
Yes,
tie.
you guys were looking sharp, man. I felt underdressed for a bit of time, but you guys were so much fun that night.
Yeah, that was a great time.
Yeah, welcome to the chat, everybody. We got so many people showing up. Mima, Melvin Sloss, Big Poppy, Chris Thomason. There's Paulie. Hey, Paulie, how you doing, man? Doris in the house. Out fishing. Well, Mark, so what's going on, man?
Just working and playing some Keno when I can.
I appreciate you doing this for us this week, right before you go on vacation. So, show number 3, and everybody's been having so much fun. So, perfect to have you on this Sunday. So,
Absolutely glad to be here.
so everybody knows these part of them. What started you? What made you start a Keno channel?
That's a great question. And Paul got me involved in Keno about a year and a half ago. And in my real estate business, they keep telling us we need to do more videos. But most people are afraid to video themselves. They don't like the way they hear. So I'm like, why don't I start with maybe Keno? Do a Keno channel.
Yeah.
And that's what started it, and it's been rolling great ever since.
Well, what do you? I think you're up to just under 500 now, or subs?
Almost 400. Almost
Almost
400.
400. Guys, push
Yeah.
it out there. They do a fun job out there. Mark and Paul, SoCal Keno. Let's make sure we share them out today. Let's get them over 400 today, and then we'll push them on to 1,000, and all the fun begins, and then all the real work begins, because then you gotta keep pushing out products. So
Exactly.
so on my notes, Mark, it says you were born in Long Beach. Is that true?
I am a native Californian, grew up in northern Michigan, went to school in Arizona, and now I'm back to California.
Oh man, you're a globetrotter, at least in the United States. So what let's see. In Michigan, you went to high school. What high school and college?
Well, no,
High
I went to
no,
high school in Arizona, so
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
West Phoenix, and then I went to a college, University of Arizona. I am a Wildcat, so go
Wildcats.
Wildcats! Great
But I do
basketball.
appreciate you wearing Aztec gear at the party, though.
Exactly. Yeah, my daughter just graduated from San Diego State last month, so it's
we're
great.
gonna we're gonna brag about her because she's a
Yeah,
fellow Aztec. So I know you got one of your
Yeah.
other children is a Colorado State alum, so we won't talk too much about them because that's a
Yep.
rival. So,
Yep. Yep. All
um,
good.
so let's brag about your wife. Your guys are coming up on how many years of marriage,
It's our
Gene?
30th wedding anniversary coming up in October. Yes.
Wow. So how
Yeah,
did you meet Gene?
we met at University of Arizona, and we knew each other from there, and got married a few years after that, and
Is
three
she in the
great
same
kids.
industry as you?
No, no, she works for one of the Catholic schools. She's a school administrator
Oh my
at one of
gosh.
our Catholic schools here.
Those jobs are getting busier and busier as the times change. The administrators have such a tough job.
That's true.
And
Yes.
Ellen, former teacher, and administrative jobs are thankless because most of it's discipline.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
And
mostly
dealing with
discipline.
parents.
Yeah, dealing with parents and disciplining children.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks for coming in, guys. You got more and more people showing up. Keith H., Doris, Chris Thompson, Roseanne, all the folks from Chicago, Bradley Jones. Let's talk about. You have 3 kids. Well, you have 4 kids because you have a pit bull as well. Let's talk about your
Yep.
kids real quick. Their names and what they're doing.
Yep. My oldest is Chase. He just got a job about 6 months ago with our company at Berkshire Hathaway.
Berkshire, nice.
Yeah. So he's a marketing executive with one of our offices. And
Wow.
he graduated from, well, he played collegiate soccer in Ohio and then got hurt and then came back and finished his degree here locally at Concordia in Irvine. But yeah, so he's doing real well. And then my middle daughter just graduated from San Diego State. And
That's Stakes for Life, baby.
exactly. And she loves San Diego, so she won't be coming home anytime soon. She loves that city and everything
Yeah.
it has to offer. And then my youngest will be a sophomore at Colorado State up in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Wow.
She's a Ram, and no, it's a great spot for her. She loves it up there in Colorado.
Well, there's at least one Rand I'll cheer for, and that's your daughter. So, other than that, not much going on. So,
yeah,
and then you said you have a rescued pit bull.
I have a rescue pit bull. I rescued. His name is Mighty, and
Oh, what a
we
perfect
got him
name.
the first week of COVID. He was a COVID rescue.
Oh, wow.
So we went to the shelter and interviewed a few different dogs, and he was the winner. And he's a terrific guy. He's
No,
about
wait,
90 pounds.
so you interviewed multiple dogs. Talk about that. How does that work? You just
So,
you get a feel for a dog, or
so basically, what you do is you go down and say, "Hey, we'd like to see these 5 dogs," and they bring them out one at a time, and you interact with them, and then you find the one that connects with you the best.
was
And
it going to be did you know it was going to be a pit bull, or just happened to
yeah,
be a pit bull?
yeah. We're a pit bull family. I had a pit
Oh,
bull
okay.
before. I like large breed dogs, and they're very, very sweet. Mighty,
They get a bad rap.
They do, and I understand why. I mean, they're very protective
Yeah.
of the family. He is my dog, so when we walk, he is not dog friendly. So I do have to stay away from
Mm.
other dogs. He does get aggressive, but when he's here at the house and when people come over, he's a love bug and a great
That's
guy.
awesome.
So I
Yeah.
don't know where he is. He was in my office for a while. He must have went upstairs. So I don't know where he is right now in
Now,
my
you're
house.
home based in
San
northern
Clemente.
San Clemente. Okay, just north of.
I'm in
Okay,
San Clemente. Yeah.
San Clemente is a little island, community, not island community, but they're off of the South LA-ish. At the best.
Yeah, so
Say,
we're south of Disneyland,
yeah.
north of Camp Pendleton. So we're the furthest south city in Orange County.
Mm.
So if you connect LAX to San Diego, we're right in the middle.
Yeah,
And that's where Nixon's Western White House used to be.
there you go. And Mark knows this, but a lot of you guys that are not familiar with Southern California, heavy military community.
Yeah.
The Pendleton area, the Oceanside area, San Diego, all military bases up and down the Southern California region here. We got North Island, we got 32nd Street, we got MCRD, we got NTC, we got San Clemente, a lot of military community, Miramar, heavy military family, a lot of connections with the military. I want to bring up Paul for a second. Paul is a former Marine. Want to thank Paul for his service. He was in for a long time. Let's talk about how'd you guys meet?
So Paul and I met almost 20 years ago in real estate. He joined the brokerage I was at, and we shared an open house. I was going to teach him the ropes. He spent a little time in the business, but it just wasn't quite the career for him. But we've stayed friends ever since. I've been in the business for 26 years.
Wow.
So it feels like yesterday, but it goes by fast.
Isn't that something?
Uh,
I've been in that job for 38 years, and when it
yeah,
passed, I got an email and said, "Hey, congratulations for what?" And they go, "Been
yeah,
pulling into the same parking lot for almost 4 decades, and now I
yep.
can see that I just met with my financial guy. I never met with a financial guy in my life, and I met with he's a buddy of mine. I play poker with him, so he did it gratis, which is kind of nice.
Hmm.
Um, and gave me a little bit. I was actually doing things the right way, just kind of with the changing of the after they signed the debt ceiling deal, the
Yep,
market shot up and said you might want to jump here because things are going to go crazy for a little bit, and then
yep.
yeah. So he's smarter than me. I push buttons on a Keno machine. So
Yeah, exactly.
exactly. So and all that you're in Berkshire Hathaway, if you guys know, it's one of the most famous financial firms with it's the Warren Buffett
Warren
group, and
Buffett.
but they don't just do finance. They do they do everything.
Well, Warren Buffett owns so many different companies. We are part of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, which is the real estate division, which was used to be Prudential. If people know the
Hmm.
Prudential name, around for years. Warren Buffett bought us about 10 years ago.
Okay.
Um, he has two passions in life. One is insurance, and one is real estate, and that's why he allowed the Berkshire Hathaway name to be used in the business. Most of the
Wow.
business he owns does not have Berkshire Hathaway. Um, so our home services division is part of Berkshire Hathaway Energy, and then that reports up through him. Um,
Wow.
it's a great company. I mean, Warren is a very smart guy with Charlie Munger, who's his right hand man. Charlie's 98, Warren's 92. Um,
Wow.
they, yeah,
Wow.
but they own some great companies. I mean, I always talk about Warren Totes. His most successful company he ever bought was See's Candy for what he
Is that
paid
right?
for. Yeah, for what he paid for it and the return on investment he gets every year. It's the most
Wow.
profitable for what he's paid. But he's heavily involved in insurance, as you know, Geico. He owns Geico. With the little Geico lizard figure.
Yeah.
And I always ask people, do they know what Geico stands for other than the lizard?
I've
And
never. I would never even guess.
it stands for Government Employee Insurance Company.
Oh.
It's an acronym. But
Okay.
yeah, so very proud to be part of the organization, the company. Not only do I have my real estate business, but I'm the assistant manager of 2 real estate offices here in South Orange County, and then I mentor 31 agents. So I
That's
stay pretty
awesome.
busy with that, and then I also referee high school soccer games as well.
I was going to go to that next. You still find time. You're on the board of the AYSO and you referee soccer games for the last
I
15 years.
do, I do, and I enjoy. It's better than paying a membership at 24-hour fitness. Basically, they pay me to freaking run around.
I
Great
read.
fun.
When I wasn't playing, I worked all day, did youth sports programs in the afternoons, and then I refereed men's basketball leagues locally in San Diego. And I would say the soccer official who has what is it, 110 yards by 60
Yep,
yards wide, and he's got the
yep,
whole floor, and he's got two guys running up and down the sides with a flag. But the soccer referees, man, oh man, you got to be in shape.
yeah. For as big as a guy I am, I can get around the field pretty well.
Yeah,
And
I'm guessing you're 6'4", 6'5".
yeah, I'm 6'3",
Yeah,
and
okay. I know you
two
towered
forty
over.
two. Yeah, 245. So
Yeah,
I can run around, and I enjoy the game. I enjoy being outside, and I'm actually pretty good at it. So
good.
it's fun.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with telling yourself. That's why you
Yeah,
still get asked to come back because
that's right.
um, there is, of all the times I've coached at so many levels, little league all the way up to high school sports, and I refereed all this stuff. And is it still as bad parent wise
Oh,
from the
it's
sidelines?
worse. It's worse.
Really?
COVID has made people very angry,
Hmm.
and it's unfortunate that the kids witness this, but their behavior is not great, and you have to have a strong official to try to
Yeah.
nip it in the bud early,
Yeah.
and most times you can, but sometimes when you have someone who crosses the line, then you have to ask them to leave, and then you get to watch them do the walk of shame
Yeah.
as you hold the game up while you ask them to leave.
Yeah. I'm a pretty fun loving guy, and I was really good at tempering down emotions but there was one guy that just would not, and I stopped this basketball game, and it's mind you, it's 6 year olds this particular game, and
Exactly. I
this
know.
one dad's come over, and I stood next to him, I pulled the whistle off my throat, and I just handed it to him, and just stood in his spot, and I'm like, whenever you're ready, go
Right.
on, dude. These guys, everybody here is volunteering, man, and you're 6 years old. This game's
They
going to
are.
end 6-4.
Yeah, exactly.
None of these kids can make a basket. So,
Yeah,
but I had a good time.
I do too. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed it. A lot of fun.
yeah.
Paul.
So,
Paul tried out for a professional hockey team. He was a great hockey player back in his youth.
is that right?
And when we were at the first real estate company together, he got an invitation to come to Phoenix Coyotes. And when Wayne Gretzky was part of the owner over there,
Wow,
and he did a tryout over there. So yeah, he's a big hockey fan and lover of that sport.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
Well, now he's based in Southern California too, still.
right. He's in Lake Forest, which
Okay.
is a city just a couple cities up from us, and he works for Terminex, so he's
Oh,
out
okay.
there, you know,
If you
for
guys saw
people.
him, Paul is built.
Yeah,
Paul is a big, strong dude. Yeah, he is. He is no joke. He's a
he,
man. He's a man's man. So,
yeah.
shout out to Paul. Hope you feel better, Paul. Now let's do the fun stuff now. It says right out of college you made your first visit to Vegas.
Yeah, so Vegas was part of my territory when I first got my undergraduate degree in Arizona, and
Oh, okay.
that's when they were building Excalibur, and some of those newer hotels, and I would used to call on those hotels, so I know all the back alleyways, plant maintenance departments, housekeeping, and it's interesting the city within the city that's underneath those
Yeah.
hotels.
Yeah.
Um, an interesting story for my brother's birthday. This was about 10 years ago. I called up to the Bellagio and talked to one of the key people who I used to know. And we got a tour of the fountains that you never get to see as a consumer from out front. We saw the underneath of Bellagio and what it takes to put on that fountain show every half hour that they do.
Yeah.
It's crazy the amount of
The yeah
engineering
the,
that goes on.
the infrastructure and all the guests that the guests get for free. The infrastructure alone for the fountain is crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And when they go to clean out that the pool that the fountains are in is only about 5 feet deep.
Right.
You think it's like 20 feet deep. It's not. It's 5 feet deep.
Yeah.
You could go out there and walk around in it.
Yeah.
But they go out there every week and clean it, and it's amazing what they find in that pool. I won't call it a lake, but it's a pool where the
Yeah.
fountains are.
Exactly.
You know,
Now think about infrastructure. Most of you, I don't know if you know or not, but the Indianapolis race is going to Vegas in November, and
for
so
Formula
they're
One, yes.
yeah, the Formula One's going to Vegas, and what they're doing is one of the main straightaways is down Las Vegas Boulevard. They're ripping out the center divides for big chunks of Las Vegas Boulevard,
Yeah.
and they're putting bleachers on top of the Bellagio fountain. They're building a whole thing for the grandstands. That's like the center. I don't know what they call it, the center court of the checkered flag or whatever. I'm not a
Yeah.
race guy, trust me, I'm not, unless it has horses in it. Um, but all the stuff that's prepping for the Vegas. So if you're going to Vegas nearing November, the traffic's going to be crazy because there's so much being built on Las Vegas Boulevard in preparation for the race. And then the race is like the one big race, but there's prep races and all this stuff. But then the day of, and then the day after, they start tearing it all back down again, and then they're going to put all the center divides back in. It's crazy.
The cheapest hotel room at the worst hotel in Las Vegas during that Formula One weekend, because I've looked into it, is about $1,500 a night
Oh my gosh!
for the worst hotel. So you can
Wow.
imagine Bellagio and all the good ones are probably 3,000 a night.
Right.
And the reason for why it's so expensive is because of all the Europeans that are coming in
Mm.
for
Yeah,
Formula One.
that's big. Yeah, bigger there.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
it's crazy because the Aztecs men's basketball team is playing in the Continental Tire basketball tournament against Xavier, St. Mary's, and another big school's coming into town. And I could only go. We always go. We follow the basketball team all over the place. I go. I don't even think comps will be honored during that week.
No, no,
Yeah.
they won't. They won't.
Yeah.
There's too much money coming into town,
Yeah.
and they're just trying to accommodate all those people, and they're going to pay the price.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be
Absolutely.
fun.
Are you a race guy?
Not Formula One, not Formula One, but I'm just was aware of it because we were there last year during the weekend that it's going to be. I think it's November 12th or somewhere around that 10/12. That's when the air show typically is at the Air Force Base.
Oh man.
And my nephew was a pilot in the air show last year, so we were up there.
Holy cow.
He flies E-18 Growlers for the Navy.
So what?
Played
I've never heard. What's a growler?
a Growler is like an F-18, which is a fighter jet, but the E-18 is electronics for listening into all the hype, what they do when they listen
Oh, okay.
to Kim Jong-un and Putin and all those guys.
Oh,
So
those guys. Not important, just those guys, right?
yeah, but yeah, he was invited to join the that air show group for the Navy, which is kind of like the warm up for the Blue Angels. Blue Angels is
Yeah.
the big
Yeah,
for the Navy, but
the show team.
yeah, but they
Yeah.
also have another team, which is this team that kind of is like the prep team for them, and they fly in air shows, and it was a lot of fun because we got to be behind the scenes and see all the great stuff that our great airmen get to do.
Wow, you won't believe this, but I've been in San Diego. I've been here. I'm 58, soon to be. Did I just turn 50? I just turned 58, and the Miramar Air Show has gone on every year for, never been.
Oh, really?
I've never been, and it's literally 10 minutes from my house.
You have to have a lot of patience and good walking shoes because it's a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
walking.
a long day, and it's free. But it's
Yeah,
the traffic there and in and out, and we can see him from afar from our house. So I've never gone to the thing, but I've seen enough, and we drive by Miramar all the time. So
I mean, air shows are terrific. If someone's never been, you should go at least one time. I always say it's the sound of freedom that flies over,
yeah.
and they do a great job.
Now, did you say you used to always make trips to Vegas with your brothers?
So my brother and I have been doing annual trips for, I don't know, 15 years or so. It's a lot of fun. We used to do it with my dad initially
Yeah,
until my dad couldn't be mobile enough to go. But he and I do it to this day. We were there just last year. We stayed at Circa, very nice hotel
yeah,
downtown. Um, but being 18 and over, there's no children in the casino, or even in the hotel.
yeah.
And that pool area is really cool. They have blackjack out by the pool, which is kind of fun too.
That
Uh,
pool at Circa is just off the chain. It's amazing.
yeah, yeah. So it was a lot of fun, and Paul loves going downtown as well. So do I.
Yeah,
We did during Keno Nation. We went down on Saturday afternoon and get to meet the people and
yeah.
have some fun down there.
Well, we have options because Keno Nation 6 is in the slowly works. I'm going on a long vacation here in like 3 days, and I'm going to work with a couple of contacts. But we're being invited downtown after 5. We're being please bring your event down here. So you want to say hi to the people? So she's going to go.
Hair's wet.
Ellen's going to say hi. She's on her way to. She's volunteering today, as she always does on Sunday. So love you, baby.
Ja, vi älskar.
She works the house in Norway and Balboa Park on her rotational basis, and today's her day. Yeah,
Nice.
she does a lot of heritage work. She belongs to the Sons of Norway, and really cool about this trip we're going on. We're going to be in Bergen, Norway, on June 11th, which is her birthday, and some of her family from back in the old days used to live in Bergen, which is kind of cool. So
That's neat.
we're so excited. 2 more days of work, man, and I got 25 days off.
Good.
Yeah, so I got more stuff. So you used to be a tables player only.
That's correct. I'll play any and every table game from
Yeah.
blackjack, craps, pai gow. I don't like baccarat, but I've been a tables player forever, ever since I was 21. And
You have a couple of big ones, don't you?
recently, absolutely, just back in March when our Berkshire Hathaway convention was in Las Vegas. The day we were leaving after the convention was over, friend of mine went over to the Mirage, and we like to play Ultimate Texas Hold'em.
That's a fun game. It can be expensive if you get nothing. You can lose a lot quick, but if you get something.
But I did. I was very fortunate, and I got a royal flush. And
no way.
I got a royal flush. And,
oh my gosh!
The thing at the Mirage is they do not have a progressive there like the other casinos do on royal flushes.
So I was going to say because they're in the hundreds of thousands.
Well, the Venetian when we were there in March, it was 2.4 million.
Oh my gosh!
But the process to get paid out there at that casino was a very lengthy and very interesting process for how the casino verifies the dealt hand.
Yeah.
Made sure I did not touch my bet. Made sure all the cards were there and there were no cards inserted or taken out. From the time they call upstairs in the cameras to make sure everything was okay there. They had the pit boss's boss. They had floor supervisor come.
Jeez.
And then at the very end, they pull all the cards and they do a card count to make sure all 52 cards are there. And then at that point, they paid me out. So it was just under $12,000 win for me, which was nice. And
How much were you betting?
so the total bet was $55.
So that's right. You had the ante, the play, and you get the triple down. What were
Right.
you dealt?
So I was dealt the Jack, Queen of clubs,
Okay.
and the friend. And when we were playing, I did not 4 times my bet initially.
Yeah.
And when the turn came, the ace of clubs was there with another club, and I was just excited for getting a flush. And my friend's like, "Hey, you're on your way to a royal. You're on your way to a royal." And I'm like, "All right." And so then the dealer, he was a professional poker dealer, you could
Yeah.
tell, and he was having fun with us. So when he went to go to the river, he flips the cards, but he has one over the other, so you can't see the other card. And that was the king of clubs.
Oh my
So now
gosh.
we have Jack, Queen, King, and Ace. All I need is a 10 of clubs. And he slowly moves the card over, and it's a 10 of clubs. So
Oh my gosh.
I was jumping up and down, and
Oh
so
gosh.
was my friend. So that was exciting. I did ask the dealer or the pit boss, I think, is when the last time they had dealt a royal flush at the Mirage, and he says it was 3 years ago.
So that's how hard, they have. That's why the progressives there, because they know the odds are, and especially if you got more than 5 players playing, the cards are so spread out, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's insane.
It's very hard to get. Very hard to
Yeah,
get. And
yeah,
if I don't know if people watch All Casino Action on YouTube, but this guy
yeah.
plays. He plays
Victor,
every day. Victor plays every day. Ultimate Hold'em, pretty much, and he has not hit one ever,
ever.
ever.
Wow.
And that guy plays thousands and thousands of hands
Yeah,
a month, and
yeah.
has not ever hit one.
What's your
I
favorite card other than a royal flush? What's your favorite table game you like to play?
I like blackjack. I like blackjack.
Yeah,
I like the, not that I keep track of cards, but you kind of have a feeling of, did a lot of face cards come, small cards
yeah,
come, and it's a fun game, especially if you have a lot of great people at the table.
yeah.
Craps is
I'm me. I'm a banter guy. I just love socializing. So,
Oh, exactly.
and
I
I
mean,
cheer for everybody. I cheer for everybody sitting there, and I'm always cheering for the blackjack. And
yep,
monkey,
yep,
monkey, get over. Bust, bust, bust. And
exactly.
do you play all the Buster bets and all the seven, seven,
Yep,
sevens?
I play all the sucker bets. I do
Yeah.
all the sucker bets. But when we were back in March, earlier during the convention, my friend and I were playing Ultimate Hold'em at the link, and there was a guy from Boston, and I was wearing that Shamrock jacket that I wore at the Keno
Oh,
Nation,
okay.
and he freaking loved that jacket,
Yes,
being from
it was
Boston.
a hit
Oh, and this guy, he had been drinking, and so did we, and
in
we got
Vegas.
really
Drinking though.
we got really loud and a lot of fun. So it was a great time. When you have fun people to play with, it makes it very entertaining.
So I was with my college guys, and we were in Vegas one time. This is a crazy story, and we got we were playing small. We were at the Barbary Coast, and I told it one of the interview. I did an interview show way back in the day in my channel when it first started. I did a storytellers thing, and me, Mike, Miles, his brother Brad, and another guy were sitting there at this blackjack table, and you start drinking. So every time he had a face card, the first card, he started going drunkenly, "Bullet my big bullet infested behind," and then
Oh
we were
no.
like, "What the freak?" And then every time he busted, he would just go, "Yes," and and so then the pit boss comes, Carmen, nice lady, go, "Hey guys, you really got to calm down the profanity. We're going to ask you to leave." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, no problem." Next card, he could face card 4, bust. And we get kicked out of the Barbary Coast, and we're just laughing our asses off. And he thinks it's just a table, so he's stuffing his chips in his shirt, rolling them
Oh
up, and
no.
not stacking. A bunch of drunks, and um, he just staggers and falls into the next table and pours them onto the next table. I'm like, no, you don't understand. You guys got to get out of here. It's just
Leave
one of
the
the
establishment. Yeah.
woke up in the hotel room covered in chips because he never went to the cage. He just,
Oh no.
oh my gosh, all the
That's
fun
funny.
stories we used to have back in our youth. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
so then, did you play slots at all?
I did a little bit. Back in 2001, I bought a home up in Las Vegas.
Oh man,
It was a vacation home in Southern Highlands when that area was first being built, and we had that home until 2006. Once my oldest son got involved in sports, we weren't going up there very often. Um, I bought the home in '01, and then we decided to have a home built here in San Clemente. And during that time period, we moved into a small condo we had to sell our home, moved into a small rental condo while the home was being built. So we would go to Vegas almost every weekend up to our house up there, so we could spread out and not be on top of each other. And so we'd go up there, and then we would play at a couple of the casinos near where the house was. My wife and I. She's more of a slots player as well, so I'd sit and
Okay.
watch her a little bit. And then my mother-in-law is, she's a penny slots person, and really just one penny type deal. And when she was alive, I'd love to go with her and watch her play because she'd just get such a kick out of it.
Absolutely.
And then just obviously been at the table, and then Paul pulled me into Paul's always been into Keno, and when he and I would go to Vegas from time to time, he'd go play Keno. I'm like, what are you playing this for? Come on, this is boring, blah blah blah. He's like, no, and so I'd sit there and watch him play, and then let's see, was it 2 years ago? Whenever Paul would get a jackpot, he would text me a picture of the jackpot. And I think it was one of the weekends I was up in Las Vegas with my brother, and Paul was sending photos like one after another, and I'm like, dude, you're lying to me now. You're just sending me the same photo. He's like, no, this is another jackpot. and so I think that year Paul did very, very well. And he's like, you got to play this. And so when I went to Vegas for Super Bowl 2 years ago, I was sitting at the sports book there at the Wynn with a buddy of mine, and we're going to have lunch. He's playing the ponies, and there was a Keno machine there in the bar top. And I'm like, okay, I'll play Paul's numbers, and let's just see. I put $100 in, $2 a spin, playing dollar denom, and we hit a jackpot. Did I lose you? Uh-oh. Hello. Oh,
there you are. We're back. We're back.
Okay. So I was playing Paul's numbers, and spins in. I hit a jackpot and won 1,600. Oh. Bubba, are you there?
We're back again. I don't know what that is.
Wi-Fi.
It did this the first time during the Stacy sample. It didn't have a problem. I'm sitting in the exact same spot. So
anyway, Paul got me involved. I hit my first jackpot, and then last year I hit, I believe, it was 17 jackpots.
Nice.
And then this year we've had a few, but not as many as quickly as we had last year.
Yeah.
PAL is our preferred partner casino. They do let me video there. I have a good relationship with the slots manager, so I can come and go, and I just follow their rules.
Yep.
I don't show any customers. I don't show any staff. And
that's the general rule. That is the general rule. That's the basic rule. Is you don't show people. You show the screen, show your face, and then
Yeah.
And some people, as you get bigger, they let you do a little bit more. Like the big guys get to do whatever they want.
Right. But at Pechanga, we do film there as well. It's a bigger casino than Pala, so I don't have as good a relationship yet with them. But I do film as much as I can there.
Yeah.
And it's all fun. It's great.
So are you enjoying are you enjoying doing the channel thing with all and you're such a busy guy?
I do. I really do enjoy it, and my style is to have a little bit more commentary.
Yeah.
If you listen to my videos, I do talk a lot more than say other people do. A lot of people like them, some don't. And that's okay.
Yeah, I think I remember because I haven't had very many negative comments. The one comment was about 6 months into the thing. Dude, if I want to hear you talk a lot, I would have done something else. I'm like, like really? So I go, you can always just mute and watch. I mean, my thing. There's not a lot of people that are negative, and we've all had our share. And Brian's had a couple, and Big Daddy Keno's got one guy that gives him a lot of crap. And the answer just thanks for watching. You can say all you want negative. They just care that you comment. They just care that you say something. They just care. You can even dislike our videos. It's still an algorithm. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
But,
the one thing is that we haven't caught Paul and I together with a big jackpot yet, and that's one thing I would love to get because Paul is very animated, very loud, a lot of fun, and would love to catch it on video one time because
Yeah.
it is pretty exciting, a lot of fun.
It's crazy. I mean, I had one on. Brian was live, and I hit the 12,000 when he was live from the Bellagio, and I went absolutely bonkers. And then New Year's Eve, I had gone 6 months without a hand pay, and I hit a hand pay literally at 10 o'clock at night on New Year's Eve this past year, and I didn't know what to say because it's been such a long time, you know.
Yeah,
And there's my local that I go to a lot. You've probably been to Barona a time or two in San Diego.
I have.
In 2015, I hit this. There's a bank of 6 machines, which is now over by the food court. I hit all 6 for over and over and over. I was running up and down this them all for in 9 days because I kept getting 7 out of 8, 7 out of 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice. Oh, come back. You're frozen, Bubba. Bubba, where are you? I know. I see Bubba's frozen. Hang in there. Well, anyway, back to the program. So when Bubba comes back, but really do enjoy videoing and would love to meet some of you or meet up if you're in Southern California or in Las Vegas from time to time. Would love to play with any of you that might want to play. I know. There he is. It's you. I'm on Wi-Fi here. My Wi-Fi.
All right.
Strong.
Well, I'm on my Wi-Fi
money.
too, but all right. Anyway.
Yeah. Door's the same for me to sing a song.
What do we got? We got dental there. So we got sorry, ref. And then so when you discovered Keno Nation, what noticed? What was the first thing you noticed about Keno Nation and how you started following the group?
I mean, I liked Keno Nation. Well, first of all, I wanted to be involved to try to expand my channel, but then I just saw the camaraderie of people.
Yeah.
And then the 4 months leading up to Keno Nation 5, just everyone being excited about it. I was too, and I said, Paul, that we have to go, and we're going to go.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun meeting everyone, and it's definitely a community that we enjoy being a part of, and we like everyone so much, and want to do it more and more.
So Melba just I have a professional question for Mark.
Sure.
Hey, Schwab, just bought out my TD Ameritrade. Do you recommend shopping to move my folio to Schwab or another good company, or Schwab a good company?
Well, from an investment standpoint, I don't know anything about that. My experience is real estate. So if you have real estate questions, 1031 exchange, commercial property, residential, I can help you out. But investment portfolios, that's not my style. That's not me. Sorry.
There you go. And see, here's one. Al Duff says, Bubba, your internet provider sucks. I have Cox. Cox is the only one offered. I only have one in my neighborhood. So, the Keno Nation. We started as a just meetup with Brian and Quick Honey. Big Daddy added himself, and then Keno Couple and Wayno showed up, and then we were just a bunch of goofballs, nervous as heck. And now we have a room full of 100 people, and the casinos are begging us for our event. So it's only going to get bigger and bigger. And you're right about it's a lot of, like when we were in Chris and Rick's the show last weekend, they consider us family. And now I'm connected to the Italians. So
I think the interesting with Keno though is where I came from as a tables player into a Keno player is most people don't understand how to play Keno.
Yeah.
They think it's a bingo, and it is kind of like bingo, but we have strategy on how we play, whether it be a 5 pattern, 6 pattern, 7 pattern, multi-card, 4 card, 8 card. There's a lot of different ways to play the game. And I think once you understand that, then you start playing it and understanding it, it's a lot more fun. But when you walk up to a Keno machine, and it can be very intimidating on how to play. And that's why there's not a lot of machines in the casinos because it's not used a lot.
Right, and like like Barona has Keno spread out a couple times at the Harrah's SoCal. You've been there many times. I know that.
Yep.
There's the Keno. We call it the Keno Corner.
Yep.
And then there's a couple scattered around. The bar tops have the games. They have all the Wolfies and the, and then Win. I love playing at the Win. There's 3 or 4 banks spread out through the floor, and then the Encore. All the bar tops have Keno. And downtown, there's Keno everywhere. And then in Henderson, Samstown, Sunset Station, they have tons of Samstown. Probably the biggest room of Keno I've ever played in. And you can play for a penny. I had a tough. What bet range is your favorite bet range to be around?
I bet between $2 and $5 a spin.
Yeah, just like me.
Depending upon if it's quarter, 50 cent, or a dollar. One thing I've been playing a little bit more of is my 5 spots. Playing either my set of numbers by themselves or mine and Paul on a 4-card machine, but playing a 50-cent denom and then playing 5 credits per set of numbers. So on some machines, you can only go 4 credit points on a set of numbers. So you go that 4 set on my numbers and then play the same numbers, but play 1 credit. So it's total of 5 credits. And that way it pays $2,000 on a $250 bet for the set of numbers on the 5 spot. So I've been doing I hit that at Gold Coast when we were at Keno Nation across the street from the Palms. When we were up there in April.
Yeah, Bueno says the pay structures are great at Gold Coast.
Yeah, they are. They're 838 machines.
Yes. Barona's all 838s. Viejas, they kind of screw you because if you're not paying attention on nickels and dimes, it's completely different than quarters and dollars. And they don't want you to win. They want you to play, but they dumb it way down on the pay scales, and you can get trapped and think you're just playing the same game. And on the same machine, it's different for every denomination. So I talk about ROI and making sure you check your scales every time you play before you even put money in. Just check them because you'll be so angry when you hit that 7 out of 7 and you get paid $400 when you should be paying $7,000.
Yeah,
exactly. I would be irate.
Well, I think, when I first started watching your channel before I met you, I mean, that's the one thing that you educated me on is checking your pay tables.
Yeah.
And so I do that at Pella. And because one machine will be different to the one right next to it.
Yes.
On multi-card. So definitely watch your pay tables. If you're going to put that dollar in per spin, make sure you're getting a good return when you hit.
Absolutely. And Harrah's is the only place that lets me go live in town. And they're 750. Those are 750 machines, and not my favorite. But when I want to go live and play Keno Live and play the players' numbers and all that good fun.
Do they have Wi-Fi there?
I do. I don't have a problem being live there.
But they have. Can you connect to their Wi-Fi?
I usually just put Wi-Fi on. I've never had a challenge staying live there.
Okay. All right. Good.
Never been kicked off. I've been kicked off the floor before I had permission, but
yeah.
And it's funny because I think eventually all the casinos will figure it out, and all of us YouTubers have run into the same thing: is you got to get permissions and write a letter, and here's your channel, and then they approve. But I think at some point they'll all get along because all we're doing is playing their floor, bragging about their property, and showing them off. And you want to see us winning. They actually, I was told one time, hey, can you stop showing losing videos as often as you do? And I go, what? Because we don't want them to know that you lose at our property. I said, well, I'm showing everything, and
right.
But also people, you'll get this too, because you're such a fun guy to be around. I think your viewers will go up because you're fun to watch. But if you're losing all the time, people don't want to watch, God, Bubba's lost 10 times in a row. So you got to be smart about what you're posting all the time. I just post everything because I don't edit nothing. Ellen's my creative director, and I said, don't edit nothing. Just put some cool stuff on it and put the entry videos.
I think you have to mix it. You have to mix it. I mean, you could have 5 losing ones in a row that you're trying, but then have a win that comes in and post that in there. Victor with All Casino Action, that guy loses all the time. I don't know where he gets his money. I mean, but that's his mantra. But I think if you have a good personality with the video, then people will watch. And I think the good marketing directors at the casino understand the value we can bring. But there are some doorknobs on YouTube who have heard it for some of us.
There has been some crazy
I know
stuff,
MGM no longer allows any videoing at their properties right now in Vegas.
Right. They've softened it a little bit at Cosmo. You can film again at Cosmo. You just can't have a tripod, and it can only be a cell phone. It cannot be a camera.
Got
So
it.
and you have to hold it the whole time. So that limits people's effectiveness, and so to speak. Keno Kid said the zero pay machines are the worst machines alive, and like the cruise ships all have
Yes.
zero. Those are bad, and I was trying to, and I hate instructing folks 'cause I don't want to interfere. They're having their fun. Say, and I'm not playing this machine. Well, that's the best machine. I go, ma'am, it's actually the worst machine. What do you mean? I get a free play once in a while. Yeah, but look at the payouts. I mean, they cut
Right.
your wins in half. And she's like, I never noticed that. And I go, well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
They don't want you to notice.
yeah,
No, it's definitely something to pay attention to, and that when Paul and I were there for Keno Nation on that Friday morning, we walked the floor to look at all the different machines. We looked at pay tables,
yeah,
where we're going to video type things. So yeah, we do that when we go to a new casino we haven't been to in a while.
yeah. Light Warrior just said, has anybody noticed this year that machines have been particularly more bad than previous years? I just read an article because Vegas, now this is for card tables, they've reduced percentages, like on all blackjacks, typically throughout the years, you would get 3-2 on your blackjack, which is
Right.
if you bet $5, you should get 750 for a blackjack. They've converted them all to 6-5, and the novice guy sees 6-5. It's a bigger number. You think you're
Right.
getting more, but you're actually getting less because 3-2 is in a sense 1.5, and 6-5 is every five you bet you get six. So every blackjack, the casino's keeping $1.50 of that money and not giving it to you when you just earned it. They said the take on blackjack this year, Vegas made 1.6 billion more dollars than they did the previous year in blackjack, simply because they changed the blackjack payout. And that's how. So almost all the strip casinos now are going to 6-5 on single deck, double deck, shoe, or the 8 deck, 6 deck. They're all going
Yeah.
6-5. Now, for the blackjack player that's a novice and just likes to play the blackjack, it's probably not as important. But the guy there's a lot of professional blackjack players. I'm not one for. I've interviewed a card counter. His name was Amani Abdullah on my channel, and he talked about card counting, and he card counted, and he said he just says Vegas will always find a way to get the edge back,
Hmm.
and the biggest edge is taking away the blackjack payout because we all get blackjacks, but if they can keep that 1/3
Yeah,
percent from it's huge.
it's
I
huge.
mean,
Yeah,
huge. 1% advantage in a casino is a lot in the long run. It's a lot.
yeah.
And for the player, it's even more huge. But for the house to get that 1% back, it's gigantic.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
to the
in
tune of
regards to
one.
your question regarding Keno machines being tighter, I think they have. I know Paul has not hit a jackpot in quite a while. He's got some small things, but
Mm,
as well, same with the amount of coin that I put through the machines in the last 4 months, 5 months. Not as good a return, and I don't know if they're able to adjust their
yeah.
machines, their paybacks. But yeah, just I always, sometimes a conspiracy theorist saying my player's card has let them know I've already won 10 jackpots in the last 12 months, so they're not going to let me
Oh,
win. I don't
everybody
know.
has it. It's funny. And I really believe this. So Keno has gone the way of the slot machine, right? All the gimmick games, and I mean, Clio was the one game that you had. But everybody knows on the front screen, the payouts are reduced, and you have to be in the bonus to get that. So, but the payout on Clio versus straight Keno, the payout is 1/10 of what you would win on a straight Keno game. And oh yeah, get the
Right.
12 free spins. I go yes. But Ellen, just listen. I try to get her off of Clio. I play a Leo when I'm Clio when I'm really short out of money. But
Hmm.
I go, think about this, Ellen. You get 12 free spins. You'd have to go 10 for 12 in
Right.
order to get the money back that you would have won on just winning one spin on Keno. I go, no, I get it. I love the game too. But the wolf runs and the cavemans, and now they got bullfrogging and targets, and everything is geared towards the fun and the bonuses and all these things. I'm
Right.
not saying it's wrong. I'm just
Right.
saying they're getting you off of the higher paying game, which is straight Keno, four
Yeah.
card Keno, and multi card Keno, which because the payouts are true payouts for hitting 7 out of 7 or 6 out of 6, because you get true Keno odds on the straight games, and you get really really reduced payouts on the gimmick games. Yes, they're fun, but that's by design. They want you to play the gimmick games. That's why they're all having those slot machine feels to them now.
Yeah. I know Paul, when Paul and I are at Pala, uh, especially in the afternoon or early evening, he'll ask the bartenders what's been hitting here at the bar
Mm,
in the last day or so. And most of the time, it's Keno jackpots,
yeah.
not poker, because most of those machines, people are playing poker. They rarely hit on poker. It's the Keno
Right.
machines that hit.
You just said it didn't hit Royal Flush for 3 years.
I know.
And on
Exactly.
Royal Flush, you can only win 4,000 credits. You can only win 1,000, or but Keno, and it is mathematically a little harder to hit jackpots. Yeah, I get it. The math is harder because there's 80 variations, and a deck of cards is only 52. For those who study gambling, yes, the odds are harder, but the return on investment for Keno jackpots is so much more than video poker, which they say the true professional gamblers always play video poker because. And so, what does the casinos do? They reduce your comp value for video poker. They take the comp values in
Right.
half
Right.
because there's called an advantage play. If you play video poker perfectly correctly as a professional video poker player, you can, in the long run, make money because I think it's 1 out of every 25,000 hands is a royal flush. So, and the variables are you want it to happen more than once in that 25,000 hands. But if you're just sitting there, but you have to play perfectly.
Right. Right.
Even
right.
one
Exactly.
hand, you can, yeah.
And they want you to drink because you're not going to play perfectly.
Absolutely.
When
Oh
you're
my
playing
God.
that
Yes.
poker.
And then drinking next to the max bet button, which is next to the play button, all is part. It's all
Exactly.
It's all science. And the ceiling's boring and the floor is loud, so they want you to look straight ahead. That's all
Yeah.
science.
I know.
Thanks.
And I normally just play 4-card, multi-card, or single card
Yep.
Keno. I
Yep.
do Clio and Caveman for the channel. It's not my favorite, but when I was at the convention again in Vegas in March, I was at the link again, and my friends were playing roulette and ultimate, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go to the bar and I'm gonna play some Keno and have a drink, and you guys play, and I'll watch you from here. And so I'm sitting at the corner of the bar having a beer, and I'm like, oh, let me play Quick Hundy. Shout out to Quick Hundy. Caveman, I'm going to play $3 a spin, dollar denom.
Yeah.
And I hit 6 out of 7 with 2 eggs for $2,700. And when it hit, I slapped the bar so hard.
Oh, you tilted? You didn't tilt it, did you?
I didn't tilt it, but I yelled, and I mean, everyone in that part of the casino knew I hit. And
that's the best.
that was pretty
That's
good.
the best. Yeah. Vicky Spitz said the Clio bonus is more common than a real bonus. And then also on video poker, have you noticed now to get the max value on the usually it's a 5 credit bet to get the max value, they're adding a 6th credit to get to the value. So they make you, it's now 5 credits to get the under bet, and then the 6th credit makes you get the casinos are not dumb.
No, they're not.
Chris said they're not. Chris said last week the casinos are not being built on winners. We all have channels and we like to gamble, but we're all in a sense nobody's ahead. All these slot channels that have all these Keno channels, none of us are really ahead. We're having fun doing this, but
I've paid for more front doors of casino hotels than you can take a stick at.
Exactly. You're paying for the bleacher at the Indy race coming up. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mark, man, it's great talking to you. I don't want to keep you much more of your time. We've already been going for almost an hour.
Oh, absolutely.
Anybody have any last comments for Paul and Mark? Once again, want to reach out to Paul and say, hey, help you feeling better, buddy. We'll get you on here one of these days. But I really appreciate you coming out, Mark, and taking some of your time.
Oh, I enjoyed it. And, if you want to meet up sometime, we'd love to go play some Keno with you.
Absolutely. That would be a SoCal Keno and a cash out Keno video would be amazing.
It'd be a lot of
but
fun.
I got to get me a coat. Where'd you get the coat?
I get them from overseas.
Oh, my gosh. I'm on because I do want a Clover's coat.
All right. I'll hook you up with one.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much for coming out and watching, folks. I really appreciate you guys. Mark, great talking to you. Have a great rest of your weekend. Guys, I'll be off air for about a month. We got some videos posted, but Ellen and I fly to London, England on Wednesday morning, and we're going to try to go live from London, England, and we're going to go live from Norway if we can get Wi-Fi out there. I think we can, and maybe from Germany. We're doing some fun stuff, but we're going to come back off our vacation in July. We got Renee Donovan slated to go. We got John Graham slated to go. We got Doris Carisi. Everybody loves those guys, and the list is getting longer and longer. This has been a fun thing to do. Great talking to you, Mark. Keno Nation is one of the coolest things I've ever been involved in, and I can't thank you enough for being here today.
Appreciate it so much. We'll see you soon.
Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.